Hey guys, welcome to stage 3 of the training program. It's the third and final stage, and in this stage we'll be progressing to the upper lower body split. It's going up to 4 days a week compared to the previous days where it's 3 days a week. So I've added an extra day in, and we're also going to be doing 2 abdominal days and 2 cardio days. The cardio days will be a little bit different, so we're going to do 1 interval training day and then 1 list training day, which means low intense steady state cardio. So for the weight routine in this stage, the first day will be an upper body day. We're working the chest, back and the biceps. Second day, which is a lower, we'll be focusing on legs. We'll be putting more emphasis on the glutes and the hamstrings, so on the posterior chain of the body, which means the muscles on the back of the body. Third day will be upper again. In that day, we're doing shoulders, traps and triceps. So a little bit different to day 1. Day 4, which is the last day, will be lower again, but this time we're putting more emphasis on the quads, which is the anterior part of the body, which means muscles on the front of the body. So overall, the duration of this stage is going to last for 12 weeks. Okay, so stage 1 was 5 weeks, stage 2 was 8 weeks, and stage 3, 12 weeks. So the total period of this training program is going to be 25 weeks. And that is really good for you, because it's going to allow you to adapt to training over a longer period of time compared to a 6 weeks shredded program or a 12-week extreme fat loss program. This is a long program allowing you to get used to the gym, to progress over time, and it will give you the tools to leave this program, go into the gym, focus on the main lifts that I've been showing you, and progress, build muscle, build strength, continue with your fat loss, and ultimately reach your goals. So as always, in this video I'll be showing you each exercise in this stage of the training program, split between each section of the program. I'll be doing a voiceover over the exercises, giving you a bit of tips and advice on how to do it effectively, so you can get the most out of these video clips. So that's it from me, let's get straight into the video. Hey guys, so I'm back again with the voiceover for stage 3 of the Fitter, Leaner, Stronger Beginner's Ebook. I took some of the videos from the previous stage and put them into here, but you will see some new exercises and some new clips in that you haven't seen yet. So day 1, upper body day, starting off with the pull-ups. Just getting comfortable, sorry. Starting off with the pull-ups, and we're going into the tricep extensions afterwards in this. Tricep dip, sorry. So is it 15 reps, 3 sets, a minute rest in between. You can superset these 2 exercises together if you want. Help reduce your workout time and stuff like that. And get sort of like a more intense workout from it as well. But if you're not at that sort of stage yet, it's absolutely fine. You don't have to do that. Okay. Again, I'll play some music over this, so it's not just me speaking. Okay, this is where we're getting a bit more intense. Superset, overhand bent over rows, superset with bench press. These are 2 very heavy, good compound exercises, and we're going to put them back to back together. So we're doing those bent over rows, after that into the bench press, so working the back, biceps and the chest and the triceps, supersetting the antagonist muscles. Antagonist meaning you're doing like, so you're doing your back and you're doing your chest, you're doing the opposite muscle pretty much. I could have rambled on then. So yeah, we're doing those, and then after that, getting into the incline bench press to work more of the upper chest, and supersetting that with the underhand bent over row. So similar movements, but you feel them differently. Just slight changes, putting the bench up, definitely feel it more on your upper chest and a bit more on your shoulders. Then with the underhand grip on the bent over row, you feel it a bit more lower In your back, it's a bit more in your lats this time, and you definitely feel it a lot more in your biceps. So it's kind of like a half bicep curl with your arm flexion. Alright. So yeah, doing this with this one, so you got a nice straight line from my butt to my head, and then your back straight, chest is up, driving that bar into your stomach. Alright, into the pull down exercise. Lat pull downs wide grip, keeping our scapula retracted again, our shoulders are down, and pulling that right into our collarbone. Leading with your elbows and squeeze your shoulder blades together. A good tip that someone mentioned at the summer camp this year. So when you're pulling down, imagine trying to squeeze like, I don't know, fruit or whatever in your armpits, trying to squeeze your armpits together. It can help you contract your back a bit more as well. So after that back exercise, we're going into chest, isolation exercise, cable crossovers. If you're doing the program and you can't do the exercise on a day, so if you can't do the cable crossovers because they're both being used, then go for the alternative exercise. So you can go for a machine chest fly or a flat dumbbell fly. I'm pretty sure in the program, right at the bottom, exercise tutorials. Sorry, just eating. In the exercise tutorials, there'll be a list of the exercises, what they work and stuff, and different exercises to choose from in case you can't do them on a day. So barbell curls, superset with hammer curls. So again, just to go over this again, alternative exercises. If you can't do the barbell curl, it's being used, grab a couple of dumbbells. If you know the exercise and movement and you think of a different machine or piece of equipment to mimic that movement in, then just go for it. You don't have to do the exact exercise. We're not getting that uptight about it, you know. So I'll keep myself in my hair again. So the barbell curls into the hammer curls, and this we're standing. Again, up to you, whatever you feel the most. You can do it sitting down, you can do it sitting down against the bench, standing. Just make sure you're keeping it controlled. You're not swinging, you're not jerking, use momentum. Elbows are in place, and you're trying to contract the biceps throughout the whole exercise. Right, so the next bicep exercise, seated dumbbell curls, superset with reverse curls. Really attacking those biceps on this one. So set the bench to a 45-degree angle. I'm sitting against it. My shoulders are against it, squeezed in place, and my chest is sticking up. Keep your elbows down. See, I'm lowering down here. I'm not locking my arms out, they're still staying bent, which means I'm keeping the tension on the biceps. I'm getting a good squeeze of it at the top of the movement. So into the reverse curls here. You've got the easy bar. You could use a straight bar, but definitely be too much pressure on your wrists. Don't want to feel that comfortable doing that movement. But you feel this more in your forearms in this exercise. Very good exercise. You get a good pump from it as well. So attacking the biceps, attacking the forearms. And then we are going into day 2. Lower day, glutes, hamstrings and calves. So we're taking the emphasis off the quadriceps a little bit, focusing more on the posterior part of the body, which means the back of the body, so the hamstrings, glutes and calves. Starting off with the deadlifts, a massive hamstring, glute and back exercise. The main muscles in the back that we'll be working will be your lower back and your trapezius muscles as well. As you can see, we're bringing it down, back staying straight, driving it through your hips, and drive the heels into the floor as well. Really try and focus on that. Help you generate the power to do it as well. Really good exercise. So again, I'm showing you all the reps in the set. No, remember I did edit this video last year, but I just never done the voiceover, so that's why I'm doing it now. But into the stiff leg deadlifts with the kettlebell. You can do this with dumbbells, do this with barbells, completely up to you. Similar to the deadlift, if you're new to this, you may not know the difference. But similar to the deadlift, just with the straight leg deadlift, legs are staying more straight and using a lot more hip motion in the movement. So you see my knees aren't bending that much, they're just slightly bent, just a little bit soft. My bum's going back, sticking out, and driving it forward, trying to squeeze the glutes, hamstrings at the top of the movement. Really try and get them working. A lot of people tend to neglect their hamstring exercises because you don't really see that muscle, but if you want big legs, big circumference, then you've got to be hitting it all from all angles. You don't want a flat back leg, you want to have that bicep peak. And what it is, if your hamstring, this is your leg. When you bring your knee back, your hamstring is still doing this movement here, still tense in there. So people with good hamstrings can have good like little bicep peak, it's pretty sick. So into the reverse lunges. Again, great exercise. Do one leg at a time, do one set one leg, alternate reps, whatever you want, completely up to you on this. And sped it up to save time. If the barbell isn't available at the time, you can use dumbbells. You can either keep them at your shoulders like this or keep them down by your side. Seated leg curl. Very good machine, but a lot of people do this wrong. They rush it and don't take the time to make love to the machine. Shout out Christian. But with this, let your legs go straight, feeling the stretch at the top, bring it in, squeeze at the bottom. We're trying to get a good squeeze, contraction at the bottom. That stretch feels good. But once you know you're doing it right, you can feel like every muscle in your hamstring just working. It's pretty sick. You may have a lying hamstring curl machine at your gym. If you do, then just go ahead and do that if you want, if you don't want to do that one. Some of those machines at gyms are crap, it's just poorly designed and feels like they're going to snap your legs in half. Into the calf press. Again, if you've got a calf machine at your gym, I highly recommend doing that instead rather than using this. Even though it's good, but if you've got like a calf press machine at your gym, that would be better. And into the hip abduction. I think following this would be the hip abduction as well. So if you've been following the program this far and been watching the videos, I'm probably just talking to myself right now, but if you have been, then you must have seen some pretty good results. I mean, it's not a short program, it's a long program with a lot of strategies in place for you to implement over a period of time so you can progress over the months and continue to see those results. So if you're on this stage now, then you must be doing pretty well. Let me know how you're getting on. I'd love to hear from you. And again, all the programs are at www.andukfitness.com/free-ebook. Okay. So now we've finished day 2. Day 3. Upper, lower and obliques for your core. So starting this off with the cable crunches. Again, if you want to get big bulky abs, you need to train your abs like any other muscle. Hit them hard, hit them heavy, 8 to 12 rep range, 3 sets. And that's how you can build them up as you would with any other muscle. See, it's hard to fill the time when you're talking with these things. But I'm just going to keep freestyling it. So after that, hanging leg raises, superset with the Russian V-twists. If you can't do the hanging leg raises, and then just do the when you're laying down, the leg raises then. You can see here I've got one wrap around one hand. That's because I broke my finger on that left hand. You see that time. I think I broke in March, April, May. At some point last year I broke it. That's about I can cast over it to help straighten it. Over a year gone, this is the finished product. Let's see if it focuses in. You don't need to focus in, you can see how bloody bent it is. That is my hand. Whoever thinks I can get compensation for it, let me know and I'll try and do it. That's just terrible. Alright, back into the routine. So, day 4, the upper day. This is going to be back again, but more shoulder emphasis, if I'm not mistaken. So we're keeping that balance in. So when you're doing your chest and shoulders, they're all pushing movements. So the plan is to do one day horizontal pushing and one day vertical pushing, combining the back in with it as well, and you're hitting, you know, your muscle groups twice a week. And that's the plan behind it anyway. And then this one we'll have the triceps at the end, doing the tricep exercises. So you're doing the pull-ups and tricep dips. You can superset these exercises together if you want. We're going to do one set followed by the next set. I'm pretty up to you on that one. Moving to the overhead press, superset with the upright rows. To loosen up the uptight hose. Shout out Chris Jones. When I say shout out Chris Jones, I'm quoting another YouTuber who shouts out another YouTuber. I'm trying to be funny. Over his respect by doing it. But yeah, overhead press here. Obviously all the things are up on the screen, you can see the tips and advice and that, so that's why I'm not really going into much detail on it over this. I'm just here for your entertainment. And I'm watching it with you, so if you're bored right now, I'm just as you are. You see I went from the straight to the shoulder press into the upright rows. You may need to change weight depending on your strength. You may lift more in the shoulder press or less on the upright rows, whatever the case may be. So test it out. You may not get it right the first week, but test it out, see what you can do in those two exercises, and make the adjustments necessary to have a more smoother workout in your next workout of day 4. Going into front raises now. You see a lot of people bend their knees and bounce up for whatever reason, I don't know why. Maybe helps them lift more weight. Cheap front raises we call them. But my knees are stiff, my hips are stiff, core's engaged, back straight, and all I'm doing is just bringing it up and bringing it down. I'm going into the rear delt flies now. So this exercise, we just really try to keep our back straight, keep our hips down, keep our hips back, and bringing the weight up and back down. We're just trying to get those rear delts working. Followed by that into wide hand bent over rows, supersetting with shoulder shrugs. So the wide hand bent over rows are a back exercise, but putting your hands a bit wider, you'll definitely feel it more in your rear delts. Followed by this into the shrugs. So you can either use the dumbbells or use a barbell if you wanted to. Completely up to you. Whatever you've got available at a time, just go with that. I personally prefer using the dumbbells just because with the barbell you tend to lean over a bit more, and that puts more pressure on your lower back and my lower back can be quite injury prone. So I prefer to use a dumbbell. It allows me to keep myself upright. Better like center of gravity with the dumbbells. Keep them at your side. It stops you from leaning forward. But everyone's different. If you prefer using the barbell, go for the barbell. So into the seated side raises now. And we're going into the skull crushers, supersetting that with the overhead extensions. Again, I love doing this exercise, but I put it on now. Up to you, or you can do it if you want. Put the bench at an incline, and then do the exercise that way. You have to sit like halfway up the bench though, so when you bring the weights down, I won't hit the bench. But, elbows are fixed, arms fixed in position. Up here, just bring it down behind your head and then back up again, nice and simple. After that, one double straight on the floor, go to the next one, do single arm overhead extensions. Do one set on one arm, then swap over. You could use a dumbbell, get a heavier dumbbell, and do both at the same time with it. Personal preference, pretty up to you. I've started doing double overhead extensions, and I am enjoying it. Rope extensions. This exercise with the cable machine, people tend to do this standing up. Problem with standing up again for a lot of people, they use too much momentum to bring the weight down. So when you're kneeling down, if you look now, my body is not moving at all. It was just my hands bringing the weight down to my hips and back up. Simple. Supersetting that with the overhead extensions. Again with the rope. If the rope's not available, you don't like the rope, use a bar. Pretty up to you, personal preference again. Try to switch it up if you want every couple of weeks or so. Day 5, lower, so we're focusing now more on the quadriceps and calves. But when we're doing more quadriceps, when we're trying to focus on doing more quadriceps and hamstrings, we're still working our glutes, still working our hamstrings. This exercise is like mainly working your quads and your glutes, so they'll be firing up, but there's a bit more emphasis on the quads in this workout compared to day 2's workout. So yeah, back squats. You're going to try and hit the depth if you can. Squat so your bones parallel lower to your knees. Try to get that depth if you can. Don't worry too much about it, just try to do your stretches. Make sure you're warming up properly, and make sure you're trying to hit that depth. Into split squats. These will get your quads on fire, absolute fire, I'll tell you. So we're doing one set on one side and swapping over. We're not alternating reps or sides on this one. Probably do your weaker side first and swap over. This is a really good exercise. You can do it with a barbell, or you can do it how I'm doing it with the dumbbells at your sides. Let's speed this one up a little bit. There we go. Keep it nice and controlled. A good tempo count, so about 2 seconds down, 2 seconds up. Slight pause at the top and bottom just so we're not flying through it using too much momentum and so on. Into leg extensions now. And this is sped up. I actually sped up this one. I'm actually thinking about your time, even though this whole video is 30 minutes long. Doing the leg extensions, keeping it controlled, and then going into the goblet squats with the kettlebell. Very good exercise, and these supersetting these two together will do a lot of damage to your quads and will also help them grow back bigger and stronger, more conditioned. So 2 very good exercises. After that, going back into the machine with the leg press. Feet shoulder width, toes face straight forward, keeping it slow and controlled. Do not be rushing through this exercise, make sure you're using the full range of movement. Try and let the weight down. Get your knees to about 90 degrees, and when you're pushing back up, be careful not to hyperextend your knees, otherwise you could snap them in half. Nobody wants that. After that, walking lunges. It's quite a long workout, I didn't realise it was this long. If you're getting a good workout, I'll tell you, a good workout. So walking lunges, I've got 2 kettlebells in my hands, keeping my chest up, back straight, core engaged throughout the whole exercise. A lot of people tend to let the core guys slack during exercises, and you'll know if it does, because they'll be pushing out a little bit. Just try and keep it tensed in as if you're going to get punched in the stomach by some random geezer. Just keep it nice and contracted, help keep you upright, and I think I'll find helps you to drive through your legs a bit more, for whatever reason. But I feel that it does. When you're more tight and secure, you feel it a lot more. Into the calf presses on the machine. Again, if you've got a calf machine at your gym, a proper one, maybe try and use that, but this can be just as good. It's just not as well set up. So day 6, upper lower and obliques. Again, kicking off with the cable crunches because it's a great exercise to overload the abdominals. And then supersetting that with the wood choppers, keeping that rope behind your head. Excuse me. The rope is being used with narrow V-bar, 2 handles, goes like that. You can use that if you want to use a barbell. Probably a bit more comfortable with the barbell though. Excuse me. It's a long day. So yeah, allow the stomach to stretch up at the top, reach on for the stretch in your abdominals, and then crunch it back in. When you're trying to crunch it back in, try and focus on bringing your rib cage down towards your knees. That's how you're going to properly contract your core. So yeah, once you start to learn about the muscles and how they actually contract and work together, you can then begin to think more about your training style and how you're training. So this is the obliques for the wood choppers, doing wood choppers for the obliques. Because on the side here, the action of that movement is the action of the muscle is trunk rotation. So I'm trying to get that full range of movement on that trunk rotation. I'm feeling that stretch. I'm bringing it all the way across and trying to contract it in at the top of the movement. Keep it nice and slow on the way back, feel that stretch and then cross. Keep your hips facing 120 degrees from the cable machine. So the cable machine's here, your hips want to be facing that way. And do it like that. Side plank, with the side plank, like side plank crunches. Great exercise. Trying to imagine like there's a line here, this is your hips. Try and get it to go straight up, straight down, straight up, straight down. Really try and get that working. I'm trying to sort of like, when you're coming up, trying to like crunch in a little bit as well on the way up. So boom, down, boom, down. Very good exercise, very good exercise. I'm swapping over. Sped up a little bit on this one. Finding it's tough, just hold the normal side plank and try and time yourself. You can only do like 20 seconds, just try and do 20 seconds every time. Really try and push yourself on this one. Really try and push yourself on this one. I feel like I remembered there. And yeah, that's how you get stronger. You gotta keep pushing yourself. And this exercise is fantastic, like literally fantastic. Got the ball in your hands, arms leg coming up simultaneously, up, down. Very, very good exercise. You really feel your abs stretch there at the bottom, on the way up, it just burns. It's a good exercise. That is the end of stage 3. If you haven't already downloaded the program at andrewkanefitness.com/free-ebook. If you have, thank you. Update me, let me know how you're getting on. Peace.